Hello Whovians and welcome to WhoTube Gallifrey 02. In this video I will be counting down the top 5 unmade Doctor Who stories. So there has been many Doctor Who stories which haven't hit our TV screens. They have been planned, but for many reasons they haven't been filmed and broadcast on TV. Some of these stories on this list have been adapted for books and audios, but all of them haven't actually been TV stories. So at number 5 we do have The Nightmare Fair. Now The Nightmare Fair would have been the opener for series 23 of Doctor Who, starring Colin Baker alongside the return of the Celestial Toymaker from the first Doctor's era. The story would have been set in Blackpool, and yes, really disappointed that this story was never broadcast on TV, but due to budgeting issues they scrapped this story and replaced it with Trial of a Time Lord. I wish this had been the third instalment for Trial of a Time Lord, maybe, if they adapted it for that, as they did adapt Mission to Magnus for Mind Warp in Trial of a Time Lord. And yeah, they sadly didn't adapt this story. I wish it replaced Terror of the Vervoids. As personally, I don't like Terror of the Vervoids, as I find it very cheap. So yeah, very sad that this story didn't get broadcast, but this story was adapted into a Big Finish audio, which I have listened to on Radio 4, I think. So yeah, at number 4 we do have Brexit. So Brexit was going to be a story in series 10 of Doctor Who, but it was adapted into Empress of Mars. So Brexit would have been all about Peladon leaving the Galactic Federation. So yeah, this episode would have been written by Mark Gatiss. However, Mark Gatiss did decide that this story may be a bit too controversial, as Brexit is a very controversial subject, so he decided to change it to Empress of Mars. So yeah, bit upset that Brexit didn't make it to our screens, as I did think it would be very political, and I kind of like political Doctor Who stories, but you know, moving on to number 3. So at number 3 we do have a Sarah Jane Adventures story, the finale for series 5 of the Sarah Jane Adventures, The Battle of Bannerman Road. So yes, sadly Elizabeth Sladen passed away, so this story never got to be filmed, but I do wish this story was filmed, as it sounded very good. You know, The Battle of Bannerman Road would have seen the return of loads of characters, including Jo Grant and I think the 7th Doctor. So yeah, I really wanted this story to broadcast, but sadly it didn't. Loads of monsters would have returned, the Trickster would have returned, so yeah, very upset that this story never broadcast. At number 2 we do have Lungbarrow. So Lungbarrow was adapted into a book. However, this book is really expensive, £200. Yeah, it's very expensive, so yeah, don't go hunting for this book unless you find it for £1 or whatever, or maybe 20, I don't know. So yeah, Lungbarrow, it would have seen the 7th Doctor visit a house in Gallifrey where his 44 cousins were captured. However, the BBC decided to cancel this story as they didn't want the Doctor's past to be explored, as they liked the mysterious backstory of the Doctor. So yeah, this story was adapted into Ghostlight, where the Doctor visits a haunted house, but sadly we didn't see Lungbarrow, as I love Gallifreyan stories, they're really good, and I love learning about the Doctor's past. So at number 1 we do have The Final Game. So The Final Game would have been the finale for season 11 of Doctor Who, being John Pertwee's last story as the 3rd Doctor, and would have seen the return of the Master, played by Roger Delgado. However, Roger Delgado did die in a car crash, sadly, so yeah, this story was never filmed. And in this story we would have found out that the Doctor and the Master were brothers. So yeah, a big thing would have happened in this story, something which would have changed Doctor Who forever, and I presume they are still brother and brother. Yeah, soon it's going to be sister and sister, or it's already brother and sister, and yeah, very complicated with the Time Lord gender thing and stuff. So yeah, The Final Game, I would have loved to have seen this story, would have been John Pertwee's last story as the Doctor, and yeah, his Doctor would have regenerated, but this story was changed into Planet of the Spiders, which is still good, but I wish it was The Final Game. So yes, that is the end of my list. Please subscribe if you already haven't, and yeah, please let me know in the comments below if you want me to do a part 2. And yesterday, for some reason, I lost a load of subscribers. It's probably YouTube doing a purge where they delete loads of inactive subscribers. They've done that before, so yeah, please be supportive, and yeah, like this video, comment below, and yes, until the next time, goodbye.